We are live, Della.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was easy. That was like a Band-Aid. It just...
Yeah.
it's terror.
Staples moment.
Yeah, right? So, Life22 coming to you today. It's a Friday evening, evening. And I've got Della Moore, the director of the African American Center for Cultural Development here in Olean, and just an inspirational woman. Della does everything, and we're going to delve into what Della does and about the center, and then some upcoming events. One of the big ones for the center of the year, and so let's take it off, Della. What's where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia originally.
Okay.
I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Okay. City of brotherly love, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I love it to death. But and came here in '72, right after Agnes, the flood, in August.
Okay.
August the 24th, 1972 is when I landed off of the short bus, the short line bus.
Okay.
And in Olean, New York, and I love this town. I do.
What made you pick Olean?
Well, no, I was married to a very wonderful guy, Jimmy Moore. He was born and raised here.
Okay.
And he went to the service, and then he wound up in Philadelphia, and we met in Philadelphia. He was I was working at McCrory's.
Okay.
And a Five and Dime. That's a Five and Dime way back in the day. And,
right.
He worked at Wilbur Rogers' clothing store, which was right next door, and we met that way. And we fell in love and got married. Had two wonderful children, a boy and a girl. And after a while at Philadelphia, although I love it and everything, but it's just that it was kind of inhibiting, you know. The schools had graffiti on the walls and stuff, and not every school, but the schools that my kids went to, and I saw my kids. They were about 2 and 3 and 4 years old, and I saw them withdrawing, you know, and I couldn't see how on earth you can learn anything when you have that graffiti all over the wall and everything, because that's not how I was brought up. So Jimmy said that why don't we just move and bring the kids up in Olean, because he was raised here. And so
it's a good place.
Said, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I had to admit, Kevin, I was kind of guarded at first because all the things I've heard about small towns.
Right.
And I was so afraid. No, wait a minute now. I'll go and I'll disappear. I'll just disappear. They'll kill me. They'll hang me. I don't want to go like that. But my kids were at stake, and this is sort of reversed of what other cultures hear about black people. I heard that about small towns and white people. See, so this is sort of
right, very a quantum leap episode type scenario, right?
And all you saw, all I got from small town was all I saw was on television,
right?
You know, yeah. And
they show you those,
and all of that.
Yeah, the sheriff who's also like head clan leader. Yeah, that's
Yes, exactly.
I've seen those same TV shows. They just
So, but it's fine when you're back there in the big city around home with families, friends, and everything. But when I said, okay, Della.
And it feels like you're in they have bigger news stations there. Mm-hmm. So if somebody were to step out of line, it gets televised real quick, even back in the 70s, you know, so.
All the way. And so anyway, but my kids were at stake, so I came. And to tell you the truth, my first month phone bill was like $300. Calling home, mom, you know, like
right.
That. But I mean, it's a stark marked difference from now. I do love this town. I love everything about it. I just went. We have our, you know, like any town, we have our problems and stuff. But I love this town. It has welcomed me, and I have embraced. It has embraced me, and I love it. I got a job at Tops Supermarket, and that was the best thing in my life. One of the best things that ever happened to me, because Tops was like Hollywood and Vine. Everybody came through, you know.
Right.
So I got to meet a whole lot of people, and become friends with a whole lot of people. Still friends from that day forward. I loved it to death. Yes. So that's enough about me, right?
I mean, that's how you got here. I mean,
I'm anxious to get off me. Yeah.
So you met a lot of people,
yeah.
and then
Mm-hmm.
and I know you take classes, and what you were your afternoon was eaten up today. You were taking music lessons
Yes,
from local musicians, Terry Bellamy and Isaac Spaeth. So
Yes.
two different lessons.
Yeah.
I'm assuming two different
One's a
instruments.
flute, yes.
Okay.
One's a flute, and the other one is guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bass or acoustic?
Acoustic and electric.
Okay.
And then I'm getting tips on the bass guitar from Connie from Beat City.
Okay.
And so she's giving me little tips on bass guitar. So
There you go.
so
See,
yeah.
I dabble as well. I mean, I actually
Yeah.
had to clear the studio out because I had a banjo sitting over
There
there,
you go.
and then I had a violin sitting over there, and I still have a
Yeah.
litany of harmonicas and a penny whistle over here, and I had an old beat up guitar. And that
Yeah.
moved to the church. So I had to make room. We got a drum set for the kids. I used to play drums, so I completely get it.
It's awesome.
And then you don't get, and then we have the piano at the coffee shop, and you know what I mean. Just dabbling in everything. I'm a master of none of them.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
So
But it's good to step out of your comfort zone, and I definitely am. I am. That's one of my key things: stepping out of my comfort zone. I'll do it in a heartbeat. Pow. I'm out. I am. So yeah, and so then I became
So you came
director.
here, and then
came
you
here.
raised kids
Yeah,
and
yes.
worked
Went
at
to-
Tops, and then you
Uh-huh.
met people, and then what caused you to you started did you start it or just became the director?
No, we had well, let me back
Okay.
up just a couple seconds. Well, I've always been interested in African American history because in the schools when I was coming up, there was hardly anything said about the contributions that African Americans have done, except for slavery and things like that. And so, George Washington Carver. And so I always wanted my parents, my mother and my aunts and my sisters, they always were bound with the history, history into my head, and I always could talk to them about our history, right?
Right.
But not to see it, I didn't see it out in the public. There were
Kinda like,
stars I'm sorry.
Kind of like Christopher Columbus. Kids are taught now that
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus was just a cool dude who came here and discovered America. They don't tell you that he was doing the stuff Cortez was doing, where they're, killing the indigenous people.
Yeah.
They're killing Native Americans, and they're just shooting them on sight. Don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes, and that whole. That's where that line came from. Was Christopher Columbus when he came to this country? So I mean, they don't promote that with the kids that he came here and just slaughtered a whole bunch of people, but. Then I took a college class on that kind of stuff, and they talk about how African history and
the scenes,
it's all the things that history leaves out because it's written by the winners. The winners
That's
aren't
right.
bad guys; they're heroes. That's
There you go.
that's
There
how
you
it
go.
works. But it's that's not
Yeah.
how it is.
No,
So
no.
I get that.
Uh-huh. There and it's we look at things a little bit differently when we know the whole story, right? When we know that there's more than one way.
Sure.
One person's standing on the stand and saying, we look.
This
at
is what
things
I saw.
differently.
Yeah.
Differently. Yes.
Right.
Differently. There is a book, and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, called Stolen Lives, and it's about how the history has been stolen from African Americans, from Africans and African descent, people. It's a really nice book. I did. I discovered it when I went to Temple University, and that was.
I'm still
nice-
listening, Della. I'm actually
No,
looking up
no,
the book name for
no.
you.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it. So-
Yeah, and there's another book out called "They Came Before Columbus." Speaking of Columbus, they came before Columbus. Now that's by Ivan Vance, S-E-T. Settlement. Settlement. I think it's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, awesome. But that's it.
So 20 years in the desert jail, stolen lives.
No, that's not the one.
Yeah,
There are two. There are a couple of titles like that.
Gotcha.
This is a yellow book, yellow orange book, and I'll just send it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send you the title. And so anyway, so I've always been interested in that. So when I said, well, we should. Myself and a couple of friends of mine, we were looking at, and I had been teaching as an adjunct professor at JCC, Black History, and I taught a kids college course in Black History, and an adjunct as an adjunct. I'm sorry.
Oh, and just to clarify, like a lot of people think that people that are professors are like doctorates or have their masters in a subject.
No, yeah.
So you just were very knowledgeable and became an adjunct. Like
yes.
When I went to college, adjunct professors would teach night classes. Like there was a guy who owned his own business. He taught some marketing classes and things like that because he was so knowledgeable in his field that he didn't need a degree. He was good enough. They interviewed him. They read some works that he wrote. They read a book that he wrote, and he became an adjunct professor. And so, I know the general public that a lot of people don't realize that adjunct professors could be like people like you or I.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I've been that knowledge, that bit of knowledge, and each time I teach, I get more. Right.
Right.
Sent me to the Pitt, Radford.
Okay.
And I went to the NAACCD in Buffalo. And let's see, where else have I been? Chautauqua and Ellington, and it's just grown every year. It gets bigger and bigger. The speeches and and I have a date to give a speech for a organization March 9th. 2019. We go way over there, and I love it. And I don't hesitate. Just jump in and go.
Right.
Because I know that as long as I do my homework, then God will give me what to say. That's awesome. And so anyway, so we were thinking about. So we got together and we said, okay, let's. We should have a museum or a center. And I've been collecting, Kevin, ever since I was a little kid. And I have enough stuff to fill up like 2 museums. I do. I really do. But they don't belong to the center. They belong to my kids, because that's their heritage. But I loan it to the center. And so that's why I said, well, I got some things that of interest. So, okay, let's do this. And
Let's
so
put them on display. A lot of museums have exhibits. And so the center has quite a bit of the Della exhibit. So.
Yeah. But so that's what, and so another 2 friends of mine who became friends had an occasion to acquire Bethel AME Church, and they said, well, why don't you set it up there? Said, why don't we? Okay, all right, we can do that. So we did that.
And that's the one on. Is that the one on 17th?
The one on 3rd and Green.
3rd and Green. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we had that. We became 5 co-founders of the center. We went around trying, learning how to incorporate.
Sure. Become a non-for-profit. Get your 501c3 status going.
Exactly right. And we went around asking everybody. We met some really nice people in Buffalo, like the African American Center in Buffalo. Agnes McBain, she is awesome. She's awesome, and she helped out. There's another center, just a regular center down at I think it's Martin Luther King Avenue, something like, I think it was a big church.
It's good. It's a good place to put one, right? Like this.
Yep, there it is.
Picking a street name. Where are we going to buy a place? Well, there's one here, there. I like the street name on this one. So.
Strangest things have happened.
Yeah.
And so, and then make a long story short, we asked around before we, we could go, and then we sat down and put the pedal to the metal, and really worked on getting incorporated, and then also getting a 501, and then we got it, and then we spread out. We had our first Juneteenth at the how do you like to segue into Juneteenth? We had our first Juneteenth event, June the 4th at Bethel, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was 8 years
14,
ago.
So yeah. So this is our 8th time. So yeah. And we have right now we're in limbo, but ladies and gentlemen, the real hero is behind the camera.
Oh.
Yeah, the real hero is behind the camera because we're in partnership. And I'm talking directly to you, folks. We Kevin and the center are in partnership, and we're going to have a nice center. God bless him, and I thank God for him. I thank God for him.
Well, I appreciate it, Della.
I really do.
Anything I do to help. So
thank you so much.
The oldest church in Olean, which has roots to the Underground Railroad, due to its location to Lincoln Park, will also be the new home for the center for African American cultural development, which is just that.
Awesome.
And we get to polish up an old gem as a building and put something awesome in there. That and with you at the helm on this one, Della. I mean, you love giving speeches, you love music, dinners. I hear you're a great cook.
Oh.
And so once we have a full kitchen in there and the dining facility / concert hall, whatever, there's quite a potential for that to be a good epicenter for downtown Olean. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yeah.
God is good. Well, I got 2 other great cooks with me too.
So there we go. So more the merrier.
Nice. Yep. Yeah. So we're having we're having our 8th Juneteenth event at the. Oh, let me back up. Okay. We're in limbo right now, but that's okay because and it's a blessing in another way in the fact that people are reaching out and say, come to my place. Come to my place. Hey, you can have an event here. You can have an event here. We've had an event at 4 Mile Brewery.
Okay.
We've had an event at Raymore and Flanagan. We have an event at St. Stephen's Church. We have an event at Trinity United Methodist Church. We're going to have Juneteenth at Bethany Lutheran Church. I mean, it can't get no better than that.
Right.
It's awesome. Oh, and we have other, and some of those, in fact, every one of those have asked us to come back. Because we've got programs all the way until 2019.
There you
and
go.
More. And the next Juneteenth event after this one will be the last Saturday in June of 2019. So save the date. All right. And I have no idea what we're going to have there, but I have faith.
Yeah.
So we have a Juneteenth is going to be June 30th. It's going to be from 11 o'clock to 7. And we have tons of people, tons of things going on. 11 o'clock is the opening ceremony where we have dignitaries and people come and talk about Juneteenth and stuff. And then we have from noon to until the food is sold out is the food. And on the menu
if it's as good as you guys keep telling me it is. I have a feeling by like 1:20 it's going to be gone. So get there soon, guys.
It's going to be pulled pork sandwiches, and we're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers for the kids. Sometimes they don't want the big old sandwiches. And now don't quote me on this because I haven't received word from her yet, but Ola May is going to be cooking something, but I'm not sure yet. But she usually does red beans and rice, and she does peach cobbler. Yeah, and I haven't eaten yet. So yeah.
I had a light dinner. We had a bag of old noodles, and I said nobody's eating them. They're wheat, and I think they're gluten free. I don't know. Somehow we inherited this bag of noodles, so I said I put it in a pot, and then threw a stick of butter in after it was done, and a little garlic, and that was my dinner tonight. Gluten free, and I'm not gluten free. I just I'm a waste not want not kind of guy. So if there's food in the house, I know noodles go forever, but we got to make room, and it was like, let's get this stuff out of here. So because I don't know if I told you we got another one on the way.
No.
Yeah, the missus is,
congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, she's preggers, so thanks.
That's great.
Yeah.
No problem.
So I gotta
Right.
I gotta clear out the one cupboard for more baby formula and
Yes.
and what, all the oatmeal. I've got oatmeal in there from the last kids, and I think it says it expired, so the kids aren't getting it. But that's not gonna stop me. I mix it in with like. I mix it in with like applesauce and things like that. It makes it go longer. So whatever, and
that cleaning out everything, that we call that a Ricky meal, because of my sister Ricky. She would make a meal. She opened the refrigerator. We had nothing, but I said, "There's nothing in there, Rick," and she'll no, yes, they are, and she just brings out whatever's in there and makes a gorgeous.
Oh, I got cans of black beans. As far as I can see, I could probably fill this room with black beans. And so, and the missus hates them. The kids are indifferent about them.
Okay.
I cook up some rice. I mix it in.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of sauce I have available. Sometimes it's barbecue. Sometimes it's soy. Sometimes it's Italian dressing. It all depends on what I've got. Maybe spaghetti sauce. You never know. I'll mix it all together. And a lot of times, like when we're making food at the house, like I'll chop the ass off of celery. And I'm learning I can plant it in the garden, so I might try that. But most of the time, that stuff, the peelings from onions, all that stuff goes right in the freezer. When the freezer gets packed, pull all of it out, and I boil it down and make homemade stock for my soup.
Yes.
And then all the things that are actually ingredients, they go in afterwards, after I strain out the stock and get all the hard chunks out, and bones, everything. That goes in and makes stock, and then I make some dank soup. So,
oh yeah. Hello there. Wow.
Oh yeah. It's like the Great Depression around my house.
Yeah.
The only thing we don't do is freeze bread. So.
Okay. No. It doesn't taste good after. I'm sorry.
I never understood the process. Like my grandfather used to take my grandmother to the store, and they would say, "Oh my God, it's 30 cents off a loaf of bread," and they had 2 chest freezers.
Okay.
The day he died, she died a couple years before him. So the day he died, they had 2 chest freezers with full of 20-year-old bread.
You serious?
20-year-old bread.
Gosh.
It was frozen, but they saved $4. But you got to think, 20 years of paying $10 a month per chest freezer, roughly. That's $20 a month for 2 chest freezers, times 20 years. So 20 times 12 months times $20. That's a ridiculous amount of money you just wasted to save what, $20 on bread? It just asinine stuff. It's that mentality where they think they're saving something. I couldn't wrap my head around it. That's
you have to come to you realize that I came up I was born just at Superman and I have a birthday the same day. We'll both be
Christopher Reeves or the real Superman? No, the fictitious.
The comic.
Okay,
DC,
fictitious Superman.
Yeah, the comic Superman. He first came out in the comic book, DC Comics.
And he wasn't born. It wasn't Clark Kent's birthday.
No,
it's literally like he was released.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think it's DC Omar. I'm a comic book fan. I love comic book fan. And anyway, in 1938. So
Superman's DC, I think.
Yeah,
Superman and Batman
DC.
are DC, and then you get Spider-Man, X-Men, stuff like that. That's all Marvel, right?
Yeah, okay.
The Hulk is Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iron Man, Marvel. Yeah.
Yep.
Wonder Woman is
DC.
DC.
Yep, because her and Superman had that like weird thing. Depending on what comic book you read, they were like it was like the husband-wife team of the occasional So.
Yeah. Well, I like the Elektra too. My comics was Elektra until she became really weird. I mean, she was doing some off the wall stuff. But
you gotta keep your reading. I mean,
yeah, I know. Oh, well, gee, no, they lose me when they get really, 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 really weird.
Right.
So yeah, but no. Let's see, there's something about Elektra.
We were talking about freezing bread.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then then you said you and Superman have a birthday.
Yes. Oh yeah. So yes. Because now, what was I referring to?
I don't know. I'm trying to put the track back together here. We derailed a little bit.
No, depression. Because when you come through depression, era, you learn how to save. I know, but I know about you. I know what you're saying.
Oh no, I get
know
it. So, but sometimes,
I know what
sometimes
you're
you get they were raising kids, and I get
Yeah.
freezing bread when
Yeah.
you're raising kids. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I just got 4 loaves for the price of 1 this week, and you make a little room in the freezer, and you put the other 3 away so they don't go bad by the time that you all
rotate.
by the time your monsters are ready to eat that loaf, and because I see it with my monsters. But when I hit my 60s, I'm not going to need 5 loaves of bread at my house, and if I do, I'm stopping at that. It's probably because I'm only going to the grocery store once every month or 2. But to keep that mentality, like, we just got to keep getting that 4 loaves of bread every time I go to the store, and you only eating 1 loaf a month, it builds up.
Yes,
So.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, but I was going down the list of things that we're doing. The food until it's finished, and you're right. Come early if you want, because
Because when it's done, it's done, people.
Done.
That's it.
We'll have a lot of stuff. I mean,
Just
we'll have a lot of events and stuff, but it won't be the food.
Right.
So anyway, and after that we have.
I hear coffee. I hear coffee might be there.
Yes.
There might be coffee there for after.
So I'll save something.
After the
like
farmers
cookies
market
and stuff.
shuts down, we'll have some coffee there
you
for
go.
everybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So we and after that at noon to 1. All right, I'm iffy on my hours. I'll just run it down. We have a drum circle coming up. Drum circle.
Okay.
Then we have writers. The twin tier writers is going to be there. That's the poets are going to speak. Then we have Martin McCall is going to talk about his
Spectrum?
growing up. Yeah.
Oh, really?
No. Everybody, poor Martin. Everybody corners him. Bless his heart. And he's so good.
Because he corners people. He goes door to door and tries to get you to sign up if you're not already signed up for cable. So.
But he's so good. He's so good.
He's
so
an ex-army
nice.
recruiter. I mean, he's
that's
good.
Right
Yeah,
that's right too. That's right too.
Plus, does he play? He plays drums, doesn't
yes,
he? Yeah, he's a drummer. Okay.
Yes, he does. And then we have then we have the blues ensemble is going to be playing, and then we have our first ever open mic. So we're inviting all musicians to come and bring your instruments and come and have fun. And that's happened between 3 and 5. And then we have Ola Mae Gayton is going to talk about Sojourner Truth. And then we're going to have, let's see, that takes us to 6. And then Reverend Wesley Gilbert is going to talk about a little bit of Black history there. And then we'll have a closing ceremonies and give you some dates about what's happening and everything like that.
Prize winners, stuff like that.
Huh?
Prize winners, stuff like that.
I'm thinking about, we're having Rebuilding Together is having, they're having a auction, and they're joining with the Allegheny Fire Department Community Center. The fire department is going to cook the meal. So I'm thinking about buying a couple tickets and having that as prizes. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
And
we'll have a 50-50 raffle more than once.
Sure.
So we get everybody. So
yeah. Now, let's backpedal here real quick, just because I'm sure a lot of the viewers don't know what Juneteenth is, and
let's start.
I didn't actually know what Juneteenth was until
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the monsters trying to break into the office.
I see a lot of YouTube thing where the guy's teaching the guitar and then the little kid comes up.
When I first met you, you were talking about Juneteenth, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And my initial reaction is I think Juneteenth, I think like Sweet 16, Quinceañera, so I thought it was like a Sweet 16, but like more of in the African history.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was, and then you explained to me. And I'm gonna let you pick it up because this is your project. I mean, not your project, but it's. So explain to the folks what Juneteenth is.
All right. Juneteenth is the celebration where African Americans celebrate because it commemorates the time that the last enslaved people found out about the Emancipation Proclamation, which was 2.5 years after Abraham Lincoln got up and did his thing, right? And so I'm sorry, that's the Ebonics coming out. Sorry,
that's fine.
So
be you, Della. Be you. That's
did his thing, and so they found out about it. And so the very next year, it's been celebrating ever since. It celebrates that. It commemorates the time that meant everybody that we all were free, and it was a highlight. It was a highlight, highlight moment. And and we've been celebrating ever since. It's celebrated in almost every single city. It doesn't have to. It's June 9th. Oh, that they discovered it. They got the word on June 19, 1865. 1865. Yeah, and so and it doesn't have to be on June 19th. Today, the way the world is today, with everybody busy and doing.
It's got to fall on a weekend. Yeah, like
right,
Martin Luther
exactly.
King. Was he really born on a Monday
every
year?
Yeah.
Like that's.
I know, but see, so we have people pick their dates. We picked the last Saturday in June. People have had it in July and what have you, but we picked the last Saturday in June. It'll always be there as long as my shift is here. I'll be there. When we, I said Juneteenth, last Saturday in June.
So Galveston, Texas.
Galveston, Texas.
So so this is, I'm assuming the. What was the year? I'm sorry.
1865.
1865.
Yeah.
So they probably still had the Pony Express. There was probably a guy with a mail bag,
okay.
riding up to the high mountains in Galveston, Texas. That's how I'm envisioning this. Like, hey, here's the post. In case you didn't know.
That's nice, and you're nice. No, there people have earned doctorates trying to figure out why, or suggesting reasons why 2.5 years. It was it ranges from, well, the slave owners wanted to get 2 more years out of the slaves, or 2 all the way to maybe he was waylaid or something like that, But yeah, people have earned doctorates trying to figure that out.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, even just with in the construction industry. I mean, they change a law. OSHA changed something. No, after so many years, maybe they make a law that says your ladder, after the year from when it's built, it's out of commission. It could be looking in great shape, but maybe they make a law that says that. Well, they don't tell everybody. They send you how many ladders do people buy that come with a manual? They don't. They got stickers on the side. You don't read those.
That's right.
You read them if you're buying them, saying, I got a fat guy that's going on the roof with me. He's 500 pounds. His ladder, can it hold him? Those are the things you think about when you're buying a ladder. You don't sit there and go, oh, OSHA requirement, such a law section C19-5. Like, you don't look at stuff like that. You just say it's a ladder, it's good, and then somebody shows up and an OSHA. I'm pretty sure OSHA applies to Joe homeowner too. I mean, there's OSHA requirement.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, you're on the side of your house, like Joe homeowner know a lot about OSHA? Probably not. Like, and so
then we get 360 training. That's what you've heard about that, right?
Yeah.
So but no. Speaking of the ladder stuff, I'm looking for tall. The tip of my roof, because I'm going to put an antenna, because I got my general license for ham radio.
I was going to ask you about that. I've been looking into getting an amateur radio license through the FCC. Is that what the class you took was?
Yes. No, and it's free. You can do it honestly, it's every Saturday, but it starts in the fall.
Okay.
Every Saturday. Okay, I'm going back again this time.
I'll join you.
Okay, good.
Because I would love to wire this place up and do like Kevin in the mornings. I can, as long as I watch, every so often I might slip the F-bomb, or I might say ass or something that you can say on YouTube, but you're not supposed to say it on the FCC's big no.
Right? Yes.
So if I do a morning broadcast, or like 3 days a week, I can do updated news and things like that, and post my thoughts, and I mean.
This is the the one I went to and get is for like nets or reaching out to something.
It's a handle.
Disaster to help out in disasters and what have you. But it's not so much broadcast, because we have 5 or 6 people in that net, and each of them get a chance to say something.
Right.
Like that. So yeah.
Okay.
I'll ask Bruce. He's the man who teaches that.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that there's it's an amateur broadcasters. So what happens is you get your certification. You become, usually people are entry level. They become technicians or something like that.
Right.
And then from what I've been reading on the FCC's website, you become you work your way up in different classes,
Right.
but who gives the amateur license out? Like if you want to have an amateur station license, so if you could be a technician and have an amateur station license. You just got to take a test and apply for the, apply for.
I wonder if we're talking about two different things.
I wonder too.
I think so. I think
but
we are.
yours is
But I
regulated
will
by the
find
FCC
out.
though,
I will
right?
find out. Yes.
Okay, so
and yours would be too.
Right, so
Yes.
it's got to be close.
Yeah.
Does your insurance cover you for roofing, or are you just a paving contract? You know what I mean? It could be one of those like, are you a painter or an electrician?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or do you do both? Like, I'm sure they've got it where you can have both. And. But I mean, I wouldn't mind taking classes on that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, and it's so much fun. I was over my head because of the math, but yeah, we made it. Thank God. We made it. Yeah.
And then I that's what threw me off, that they actually test you on like the actual circuitry. That's why I thought you were in a different class, because I can't imagine like a guy who's has to operate Then again, I guess it makes sense if you have to operate FCC regulated equipment. You have to know how it works.
Right. Well, we build our own.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Most of the people in the class will go to build their own.
Right.
Radios and stuff. Yeah.
I guess that can't be too complicated.
Oh, he says that, and I sweat about it.
I mean, you're sweating about it. I mean, I grew up when I was 6. My dad helped me build my first 286.
Oh.
Computer, and we built the desktop together, and then he showed me how to install. We had the 5.5-inch floppy disks, and we had to install Windows 3.0, or maybe we started with DOS because it was easier, and then you can use DOS to install the other ones, and he taught me command prompts, and I mean, so I went through a lot of that stuff, and I mean, it's not hard. I mean, I built my last desktop, and laptops, I'm going to leave that to the Chinese kids because they're really good. They got smaller fingers, so they can.
Stop it. They're very, very much ahead of us.
They are. They got great dexterity. I mean,
very ahead of us. I admire them.
But yeah, building a laptop from scratch is a little out of my league. Building a desktop, that's kind of like hobby cars. You know what I mean? You put your car together, you put your model plane together. That's kind of building a desktop if you know what you're doing. And I can see a radio being very similar. Like in our house, I'm trying to build where I've been talking with June the last couple days about, just running Ethernet wire in the house so that like we're not relying on a Wi-Fi signal to run the entire house. Maybe we get a Wi-Fi router. I've got older ones. You get one on each floor and do a couple hardwired to some of the big draws. The Xbox where the kids watch Netflix, or the laptop that's streaming or recording YouTube videos. Maybe that needs dedicated line. So we've been talking about stuff like that, and building the radio.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to learn how to build a telecom station.
Kids to help you.
Yeah.
Because just like you were blessed by your dad letting you help you help him. They'll be awesome to do that.
Yeah.
They'll never forget.
I'll have them foot the ladder when I climb to the roof to put a satellite dish on there.
No, that's so much fun. It's so much. We were every 6 o'clock every night they have a net going on, and then 8:30 on Thursdays they have another net. They're different nets. It's so cool. It's so cool.
They just talk about what they want, or is it emergency protocols?
No. Well, they can do emergency if emergency arises, but there's no. These are just talking about. Right.
So it sounds like they've got together and created their own amateur station, which is just amateur station is supposed to be not for profit, and it's supposed to be to craft your radio skills, whether it's testing out a radio, to communicate with other radio techs, or to maybe practice your broadcasting skills.
Cool.
So that somebody can pick it up in their car as they're driving by.
Yes.
You might be on an AM station, or so.
Yes. I have mine in my car.
Yeah. I've got me
antenna on the roof.
I got a CB radio. I found it at a junk haul out at an estate. It was like an old thing, and I gussied it up. Honestly, I had that thing for like 5 years. I just never installed it. It's sitting in a box.
Oh.
So.
Well, now look out now.
Yeah.
So I will, but I will. I'll ask Bruce. I'll find out about
Okay.
that. Let's see
Cool.
what that, 'cause
Yeah.
that never occurred to me.
Yeah, I think
We'll
that's
find out.
I love this the whole YouTube thing, and that's and like just having a show, and I just it's a nice like creative outlet for me, and then
Yes.
to be able to provide my viewers, like maybe people don't have a smartphone, or they won't be able to watch
Certainly.
it, or they want to watch it later, they can, but they're driving in their car to work and they want to hear Kevin in the mornings,
Right.
and,
There you go.
yeah.
I call it YouTube University.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's right, and Google Academy.
Yeah, that's
If you want to
actually there is a YouTube
Google.
Academy. There actually is a YouTube
Alright.
Academy for different topics, but so you told us about Juneteenth. You've told us about Della. You've told us a little bit about the center.
Yes,
We've talked
okay.
about the future of the center. We've talked about current events, and
Wow.
yeah,
We
we
covered
even
a lot,
we even
yeah.
we even BS'd a little bit about one of Della's other hobbies, the radio technician.
Yeah. God has been good to me. I mean, to bless me with energy. God bless him. Thank you, Jesus, for it. And the other thing that we have a walking tour that is that's going well. And here I cannot.
Oh,
keep
that
them.
reminds me.
Yeah.
So I was gonna clip over real quick.
Okay, clip over. Oh yes, that's right. Okay. No,
Yeah, because Della has her. She brought with her a project board, which essentially is a collage of photos from how many? Is this all of? Is this last year's?
Yeah. No, this is 2015.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is
3 years ago.
3 years
Yeah,
ago.
this is these are performers and also participants and also people who came to
Right.
to watch and have a good time. Yeah. That's what-
Gotcha. Okay, so well, hey,
yeah.
hey,
That's when we
any
were-
visual aids are always welcome, Della.
Thank
So
you. And that's when we were over at where we were going to be today. I mean, this time at the Bethany Lutheran Pavilion
okay,
at 6 Leo Morse Drive.
okay,
next
yeah,
to
right
the
next to the
food
county
pantry.
building, and yep, the food pantry
Yeah.
in the county building,
Yes,
right?
I-
Okay.
Yes, that's what we. Yeah.
So and then now you've got a brochure about a walking tour.
Yes, the walking tour. Now there are some things that we are with the Planning and Tourism Department of Cattaraugus County.
Okay.
All right, and we're with them. We call ourselves HAC. Don't call us hacks, but we are historian advisory committees, right?
Okay.
That's what we are. And so, and we out of that has come a couple of good brochures. One of them is the first one took us 2 years to do.
And
It's this guy.
and we can and anybody can get one of those heritage guides from.
Oh yes.
They've got one at the Chamber of Commerce. If you
Yes,
call the
and
county tops.
Yep, I can't keep them on the shelf. I put them up and they're gone. Those people are using them.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That was our first one.
Oh, hopefully for good. Right across the street from my house is it's the Seventh Day Adventist Church,
Okay, yeah.
and they've got that nice. They've got like a little free literature, like newspaper. You've seen the little newspaper machines.
Oh, yes.
That they've got one where you just open it up, you grab the.
Yeah.
And we're so
Yeah.
close to the high school
Yeah.
that the kids they're usually out there messing with it.
Oh.
And so I got to run out there and defend it because Joel Avery's an awesome guy and he runs the church next door or across the street and he's not always here because he lives in Pennsylvania. So
Okay.
I run over there and I gotta I feel like a 90-year-old man yelling at the whippersnappers for being kids, but they keep messing with it, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things. So
Yeah.
you hope that people aren't just because I've seen those kids throw them all over the place,
Oh, right.
and so
No.
I'm assuming if you have them at Tops, though,
No.
it's not like an unsupervised
No.
area,
No.
so it's a
Yeah, that's what we have at Tops, City Hall, the Chamber of Commerce, the hotels.
the city building having.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. City building.
Oh,
City
okay,
Hall.
okay.
Yeah, city building, and Chamber of Commerce, and the hotels.
Every hotel,
Yeah,
yeah, of
yeah,
course you want
yeah,
visitors,
hotels,
travel
yes,
and commerce,
yeah,
right?
yes.
That's a good spot.
And I can't keep them up there. And this one's on that next to the last one. I mean, our next one after the Heritage, we came out with the Underground Railroad. This also is it's a driving tour, okay? That you can. If I open this, I know I'm not going to get it. Okay.
I'll help you put it away when
Okay,
we're
thank
done,
you.
Della. No problem.
One side we had the information about the Underground Railroad, short little information. Then we had the conductors and the station masters. And the other side we had the stations. So, and the map of supposed state of legends, state those who are thought to be routes that the slaves took. Then, God is good. He said, Della, do this. And I said, okay. So we did this. This is the Olean.
He must not have my cell phone because he didn't call me. He calls on you quite a bit, Della.
And so we did this. And I don't know if he gave me a lot of energy because it took a lot of energy to do this. And a lot of help. And this is nothing. This is our fifth printing. Our fifth printing. Can you imagine? On these mouths for 2 years, 3 years. Fifth printing. People are using it.
And how many?
It's
how
a
many?
Self-guided tour.
How many are you printing in a batch? Like 2,000, 100?
There's 500. A
Okay.
case. 500 a case.
500 in a case, and this is your fifth one.
Fifth one. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty
so
sure,
you're
yeah.
at 2,500.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, 2,500 out the door.
And we also have a geocache for people who like to dig and find around with treasures. It's so cool. So we're really busy. And we just had our
The geocache, that's where you go and you find something,
yes.
and then you replace it with something else.
Oh,
Is
well,
that, okay.
you can. Yes, and also you use your computer. You go all online. Before you used to have to write it down and put it in there, and
Mail it back to them. And okay.
And so now you can use.
I heard about it. I just never
awesome.
delved into it.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. So that's going to. So I'm just thrilled about that. Really thrilled about the fact that people are interested in history and interested in what's going on in our town.
Sure.
So it's cool. Yeah. So it's cool.
Getting involved,
so,
geocaches and events and
and
self-guided tours. Now you also offer a walking tour, correct?
Yeah. That's it. That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one. I offer. I can take you around, but you don't need me.
Okay, gotcha.
You don't need me. This is
we need you, Della. we need you. Without you, we wouldn't have 2,500 of those that have already been printed. So
no. So but it's self-guiding. It is self-guiding. It's completely self-guiding. Yeah. And I did a walking tour of downtown during the last Strollian.
Okay. I heard something
Mimi,
about that.
Yeah, Mimi, bless her heart, she suggested I do that, and I used Ethan Kelly did his Boy Scout project. He did historical places, and a lot of it was downtown. So I used his book, his brochure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I made sure everybody knew that it was his brainchild. And there's a lot of work that goes into those kind of things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Really. As the Shrek. Really. Yeah. So so that's what's going on. And we have, as I said, some programs. We still have programs. We have programs going all the way through to the end of the year, and more being added. We 2 more programs that we're having is Women of the Bible. We had one, and it was so successful. People asked, let's do it again. So we're having another Women of the Bible. This will be at Christ United. And then and that's that's in September, I think. And November, we have another one with the bad women of the Bible. I don't want to use that title, but the women who are,
the sultry women of the Bible?
Jezebel, and yeah, like that, yeah. So yeah, we're going to have that again. And we're bringing Isaac and Mark back again. They gave a program Wednesday.
He was telling me about something that was going on.
Oh my gosh!
He's always doing something. Isaac,
man.
he's always
funny. Awesome. Oh, it was awesome. And I'm trying to get a grant together to get a real camera, one of those professional cameras, so I can tape all these things. That we have some good stuff. We have good things, and we tape them so that I can share them with the schools and like that. Just give them a they would have loved that. The musicians would have loved it. What Isaac and Mark did, they found an old trumpet in the Rushford, the top floor in the Rushford Museum. Rushford, New York Museum.
Right.
And it was all not trumpet, bass. It was a saxophone.
Okay.
And it was all tarnished and everything. And Isaac put it back together.
Restored it.
And they restored it. And they gave a presentation on how he did it and where they found it in history.
Yeah, there's a lot of artisans out there nowadays.
Oh, yes,
You've got when Isaac was a few years behind me in high school, and when you know what I mean, like he was always playing the saxophone and things like that. And you think, okay, well, he's either going to go on to music school, become a music teacher. Like in my head, you know what I mean, because I wasn't into music like that, and to think, okay, but like to actually think that somebody that is not in a factory making a machine that just makes a saxophone, he actually is building them and honing them out and doing all that stuff and restoring them. Another person I know is Luke Penston. He puts he does stained glass work.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you know what I mean. Like another person I went to high school with. It's just all these people doing these amazing things that like you didn't think that stained glass, you know what I mean, was a thing. Or until I met Isaac, I didn't realize that there's actually like an organ company out there, like a company that fixes, buys, sells, installs pipe organs. Like and there's so many of them. I'm thinking, like, how many pipe organs are there? Like, how do you stay in business? And there's a market for this stuff.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
And there's not a lot there's a market for it, but there's not a lot of people in this area or even in nearby areas that fix musical instruments. And Isaac's telling me about how people come from all over to have him fix their stuff, or they mail it to him. And
Washington, everywhere.
Traveling musicians, hey, my guy's not here. I need somebody on the fly. And rumor on the street is that your fix-its are clutch, and they go to him.
Yes.
And so.
And he's right here in Olean. I mean, it's just so cool. We got so much talent here.
Oh yeah.
Really. And anybody who says that there's nothing to do with it's all boring. I said, where are you from and what are you watching?
Yeah, pick up an instrument. Yeah, pick up an instrument.
Volunteer.
Yeah, volunteer. Yeah, you'll meet tons of people. Talk to people. If you become a recluse in your house, you're not going to meet anybody.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on because you're not doing anything.
Yes.
If you're doing something, things are going on. You will realize, your eyes will be open to the fact that there's tons of stuff.
And you attract people who are like that, they come right to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a recluse.
Yeah. No, and I was talking to somebody yesterday. He goes, hey, he's like, he goes, I hate when people tell me there's no work in this area.
Oh.
There's no work. I can't find any work.
Yes.
And what's funny is there's more work.
Yeah.
He was telling me, he goes, there's more work than I can do in my lifetime. He goes, I could work forever. I could bust my butt and get a lot of it done in a day, but there's going to be more work the next day. If everybody here was working, we might run out of work, but I doubt it. There's always work to be done.
Right.
And for every person working, it's generating more work. It's like a snowball effect. So
this is true. It might not be exactly, you're not going to start at the top of the line.
No.
I mean, if you're looking for that, then that's a one in a whatever chances.
No. Not everybody's going to create the pet rock.
You're willing to go step by step. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh no, you're not everybody's going to invent whiteout or the pet rock right off the bat. $1 million idea.
Right. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or YouTube.
Or YouTube, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, but there is. If you're willing to do it, it can be done.
Yeah.
You're willing to step out, or attach yourself to someone in an honest way, and become their apprentice. You got people out here that are doing things and need some help.
Right, and I'm sure Isaac. I'm sure he's always telling me he's swamped.
Yes,
but he still finds free time to put a horn on hold to go and tell somebody about how he restores, or do a saxophone presentation, or do whatever. So
yeah. So learn how to do that. I mean, don't be so proudful. I mean, pride doesn't fill your pockets.
The troops are getting restless.
Yeah, okay.
They're bludgeoning one another out there, it sounds like.
They got their own show.
They do. Yeah, it's the Cry Network.
Yeah. But no, so, and we had an event at the 4 Mile, and we're going to have another one there. So, but one suggestion was a gospel event where you have gospel music.
Okay.
And so we're thinking about,
we
why
don't.
not there, or so that's so cool. That is so cool. The music was fantastic. Oh, Kevin, the music was on 30s, 40s, 50s. It was awesome. And one couple even got up and danced.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You don't hear any more Gregorian chant.
Oh man, awesome! I remember that. That was a big thing. When let's see earlier. Let's see, when was it? Because I've got that the Monks the album, and then I fell in love with Anya. Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah,
she is just so awesome. Yeah,
it's better than Yanni. So.
Oh, I love Yanni.
Oh jeez. Yeah. Her and her Anne Murray. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. That's a guy who is one of his head is not bigger than it is, because his brain, Yanni, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wow, the stuff that comes out of his head. Wow, the music is awesome.
Right.
Oh man, yes, yeah. And I didn't realize I had so many Anya records, CDs. Yeah, until on YouTube University I saw her, and I just I remember. Let me see what I got. Yeah. So yes. Yeah, she's coming out with stuff. But no, so that's it, I guess.
Okay.
We'll talk forever, that.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. Until people stop listening, Della.
Okay.
That's...
All right.
But, so Juneteenth coming up, the last Saturday in June, which is not tomorrow,
June
but the
30th.
Which is the following Thursday, so a week from tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
June 30th, 2018.
Yes.
At the
Bethany Lutheran Church,
6 Leo Moss Drive, right next to the Cat County. The Cat County building.
Yes.
And
we'll
you guys
have a big tent. You can't miss us.
Big tent, signs. I'm sure there's going to be road signs pointing to get in there, and it should be a good time. Food, music.
Yes, man.
So You got tons of different vendors coming. I know. I know the missus is making crafts, and I'll be supplying coffee and.
And I haven't heard from the vendors, except for your wife. But we'll see. They got till the 25th to respond. So
okay.
So we'll have everything. Yes.
Awesome.
But we'll have a good time. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're yours truly is going to get out there and sing. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
You can hear your pipes.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Fun. That's so
much
fun.
So So don't forget to come check it out. Della Moore on the show. I'm sure we'll have you back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
And a little insight on your life about the center and about the upcoming event for Juneteenth. So. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out the center. It's on Facebook, right?
Yes, Facebook.
It's on Facebook. Does it have a website? It does.
Yes. OA. I just changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had it as Olean. I had it as African American Center for Cultural Development.org, but they sort of beat me down about that one. So I just
you gotta. The internet is the internet's like McDonald's. You need to get there fast. I want my food. I want it. Drive-through time's gonna be down. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
They did. They took some skin when they beat me down, but they did. I come in. AACCOLEAN.org. Yeah.
Okay.
AACOLEAN.org.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
Yes,
that sounds a lot simpler.
Oh, never mind.
Sorry, Della.
No problem.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show,
Thank you.
And I'm sure we're going to get an uproar to have you back. So
thank you.
No problem. We'll catch you next time, hon.